As it is Christmas Eve, I figured I would talk about Christmas music, and more specifically one of the best Christmas songs in my opinion. Now I could talk about the classics by Bing Crosby, Nat King Cole, or the more pop-based ones like Last Christmas by Wham, or talk about the Queen of Christmas herself, Mariah Carey. But today, we are going to talk about Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues featuring Kirsty MacColl, released in 1987 as a single, and then later put on the 1988 album, If I Shall Fall from Grace with God. It is the band's biggest song by just, name alone, having over 440 million plays on Spotify, and going 2-time platinums in New Zealand, and 6 times platinum in the UK, according to what Wikipedia tells me. I had to do some little spark notes, I just figured I'd throw that in there. The song, written by Shane MacGowan and Jem Finer in 1985, was originally meant to be on the EP Poetry in Motion, along with the cover of the Lovin' Spoonful's track, Do You Believe in Magic? But both were left off of that, and honestly, I think that is for the better. Now, what's even weirder is, this song actually went through a few different demo versions before the one we know today was dropped. And not just that, they have an entirely different person on the female vocals, that being the bassist at the time, Kate O'Riordan. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm bad with names, I am sorry, I'm hoping that's at least close. Now, of all the 3 versions, we're just going to talk about them quickly, with the first version fitting the speed of the song kinda, but also with a lot of the lyrics changed and moved around, and honestly not really sung the best. It was kind of just in and out and all that, but still alright to listen to. The second version, which is probably my favorite out of the demos, is more in line lyrically with what we know now, but a few lines just kind of flip-flopped or moved around, and it's just a bit slower, honestly. It was kind of weird listening to it, because I'm not used to listening to it that slow, but it also has Shane alone on the chorus. The third version is more identical with the instrumental we know now, but lyrically it's just in and out. It seems like it was more of like a backing track, or just trying to figure out where everything goes. The one we know now came about during the 1987 sessions for recording the album at Abbey Road Studios originally, where the third demo came from, but around August of that year, it was recommended that the producer Steve Lillywhite take the track back to his home studio to have his wife, Kirsty MacColl, sing the guide vocals for the song, just to give them an idea for it. They ended up loving it so much that she became the female vocalist for the song. Shane ended up apparently re-recording his vocals to match hers, and what's even weirder, I didn't know this, they never recorded that version apparently in the same studio. It was done separately. So I thought that was cool. I thought it was just both of them in the studio, but apparently not. And then to top it off, we have harp and French horn recordings, and then we have the song we have now. And the reception of the song ended up being really good, with a lot of people praising it, calling it a wonderful Christmas song, saying they went basically above and beyond to make a #1 Christmas song. Honestly, you would think that's it, right? One of the best Christmas songs, ended up doing really well and is timeless to today. Now we have the controversy around the track, which it's a weird controversy, so just take it as you will. With Shane's character played in the song, calling Kirsty's an old slut on junk, and her calling him an arse, which is basically calling him an asshole, and then also saying the F slur. Now, that's where it kind of comes in at, all the controversy. A lot of the radio stations around ended up basically calling him out and being like, we're only going to play the censored version because it can be seen as offensive to some groups of people, especially with the F slur being anti-gay and LGBT. And on a lot of the live television performances, you will see that they do change the lyrics up a bit, so that way they don't say it. But in return, a lot of people, thousands and thousands, basically said, hey, we are not offended by this. Why are you trying to censor music, basically? And at one point, apparently 91% of people said they would not be offended with the original version, with a lot of radio stations and all that at that time and now basically caving into it and playing the regular version of it. But apparently for television versions, it still is heavily censored. When Hozier, I'm hoping I'm saying his name right, Hozier, the Take Me to Church guy, he just did it on Saturday Night Live just recently, and they changed a couple of them lyrics around. I don't like how they changed them, because they should have just went with how Shane and Kirsty did the censored vocals. Kind of just basically repeating those ones instead of making up their own. It kind of just felt weird. I didn't like it personally, but it was still a great cover. Now, how you choose to feel about the song is entirely up to you. I'm not saying you should or should not be offended, because we all can think what we want to think. Shane actually responded to the backlash, saying how it was written was basically how the character spoke, and was not intended to offend anyone. Now, personally, I choose to really not care about them saying the words in the song, just because I know it's a song. And most of that is basically written, I don't want to say for theatrics, but that's kind of the only way I can say it, especially with how the song's written and their characters, and they're just grumpy people at one point in there, basically. So that's just them being grumpy in the song. That's not really reflecting how they feel personally. They're not calling, like, the crowd, they're not calling anyone that word. They're just saying it in the song, and I choose to just see it as that. They're using it in the song, that's it. In my opinion, this is honestly one of the best Christmas songs ever made. It's timeless, has great instrumental and vocal work throughout it, and I hope it will be one that is celebrated for decades to come. So that'll do it for today's video, and yeah, I will see you tomorrow on Christmas for another video. I don't know what I'm going to do in that video, but it's going to be fun. I don't know if it's going to be a gaming video, I don't know if it's going to be a weird video, but we're going to have fun with it. So I will see you tomorrow. Take care.